And I'm so happy he's back. The man behind MetPro back here to help us kick off 2022. Angelo Poli is here. How are you, my friend?
I am doing great, Joe. Great to be back. Always love chatting with you.
Well, likewise. And I got to tell you, our community, when we told them that you were going to be on this episode today, responded like they always have, with people just can't wait to hear this. And you were telling me earlier that the trend is a little different this year when it comes to health and wellness. Tell me what trends you're seeing in the community.
So, seeing a big uptick in basically just, our everyday people, maybe folks that didn't have a previous history in sports or athletics, deciding, after the last couple of years we've had, I'm ready to get in shape. I'm ready to take control of my health. A lot of people who are saying they're ready to take control of their weight. A lot of people saying, even though I may not have a gym membership or I may not be participating in the same program I used to, they're diving back into their fitness. And it's awesome. We'll take the silver lining. Last couple of years have been rough, but we'll take the silver linings that come out of it. And it's really neat to see people coming out of the woodwork and saying, this is important to me, and recognizing I don't have to talk them into it. I don't have to prove it to them.
Yeah, I feel like for me, it's because, we're all working from home, and the stories I'm getting from people I interview, we're working from home and we want to get that routine back that we used to have,
That's it.
Go to the gym, get out, get moving.
Yeah.
And the rest of your day feels better. This as well as anybody. You get out there, your day is much better.
And you and I have had this conversation multiple times, often with my executives, my professionals, and basically just people who are hardworking and focused in their mindset. I'm always having to talk to them and say, hey, Johnny, it will affect your bottom line. You will actually be more profitable. You will actually be more productive. It's not just a cliche, but when you're feeling good, you have more energy. Hey, I'm looking good today. It all spills over into your productivity. When you're feeling well, it dives in. What's different now is I don't have to talk people into it. I'm getting these calls, gals saying, I'm at home. I'm willing to exercise. I need to do whatever it takes because I've been sitting at home for the last 2 years and I am ready to feel good again. And so people are diving in and doing it.
Okay, so on Monday, we had Ramit Sethi help us motivationally get into the new year. That was a fantastic episode. On Wednesday, Aaron Sky Kelly helped us get out of debt. Now, Angelo, no pressure. Help us get into shape. Where do we start here? It's a new year, new me. Where do I begin?
That's it. Well, you know me, Joe, I'm bottom line guy. I like to, give me the bottom line. What's going to make the greatest impact? And so the answer is going to be having a strategy that is specific to you and is not random. That's really what it boils down to. So we've seen the trend in the last year and a half. We've seen a lot of innovation from technology, which is great, by the way. I'm a big fan of that stuff. You got genetic testing, you got blood testing, you've got allergy stuff. You can do your sleep monitor. You can do your right at, the palm of your hand. These are great things for wellness. At the end of the day, what people still need and what people constantly, day in and day out, are still coming to me for is what's the strategy? Because when it comes to health and wellness, having additional indicators and markers, they really help you make wellness-oriented decisions. But when you have a specific goal, let's use, for example, and I always bring this up, it's not that weight loss is the most important goal. It's just the one people come knocking on my door stymied with the most often.
Sure.
So I keep going back to this. If you have a specific weight loss goal, you have to have a specific plan for you, because what you can do is you can go and you can do all of the testing, you can do all of the metrics and start a program and see results for about 2 or 3 weeks. You're still going to end up in the same spot, and that is you're going to hit a fork in the road. Everybody hits that fork in the road. You know what the industry calls it? They call it a plateau. And it just simply means you've done good for your body. your body has now acclimated to those good deeds.
Yeah.
Something else has to change. And you can have the greatest, most scientific program on the planet, or you can go to Barnes and Nobles, put your hand over your eyes, point, pick a book that says lose weight with, go home and try it. And guess what? In both cases, you're going to probably see progress for 2 or 3 weeks. And then your body acclimates to it. So having a strategy that says, if this, then that, once you hit that ever guaranteed plateau, having a strategy that says, okay, here's what I'm going to do next. When I reach this point, I'm going to add this with the exercise. When I reach that point, I'm going to change this with my macronutrients or modify my calorie intake or adjust my meal plan. That's based off of when and how you hit plateaus and when and how we can break plateaus for you. That's the key. Have a strategy. Work with someone that can help you with that strategy if you don't already know it. And if you already know the strategy, write it down. Commit to it. And then look back each week and go, okay, if I were to show someone my activity log, if I were to show someone my food log, would they be able to guess what my goals have been this past week?
Mm.
Would
Yeah.
they be able to say, "Oh, I see what you're eating. I see what you're trying to do," or would you need to tell them you were on a plan to build muscle, or I was on a plan to lose 20 pounds?
It's almost like we talk about people. If you really want to get your financial house in order, think of yourself as a public company where every quarter you have to go to your investors and go, hey, here's what we did last quarter. Like all of a sudden these goals become less. So I love the accountability piece of that. Another piece that I like though, is this idea of looking at the second domino. Cause to your point, I think a lot of investors do the same thing. They look at the first domino, but you're already looking ahead of, hey, we know a plateau is coming down the road. How do we avoid this situation altogether?
Yes. So, so people have asked me, they said, Angelo, what is MetPro? Short for metabolic profiling. Because I've been on your diet before. I'm like, I don't have a diet. It's not a diet. No, this is a process. So when I'm explaining people what we do at MetPro as coaches, I'm explaining a system of rectification, and you hit the nail on the head when you say looking at the second domino. You have to do that with financial planning, with anything else you're doing, looking at the big picture. So you can do this when I'm going to give you 2 truths to consider. Here's 2 truths. The first truth is this: the meal plan that causes all human beings on planet Earth to lose weight the fastest is this. You ready? Water. That's the meal plan that causes the fastest weight loss on planet Earth. In fact, any ingredients added above and beyond water slow that process. That's a truth. Now, here's the problem with that truth. The second truth is every day you only eat water, you are one closer to death. That is also a truth. We call it starvation. You can't just stop eating. So where is the rectification between the fact that I have to eat in some way, shape, or form less with the fact that I can't stop eating? That's where the strategy comes in. So when we talk about all these fancy terms, like people have heard me talking about baseline testing and figuring out where your macronutrients are, we're not just looking at what's a good or healthy meal plan. We're looking at where can we start. So that way we have steps 2, 3, and 4 to keep you progressing. And again, some people, their goal isn't weight loss. Their goal's energy, improved health, and vitality. But if your goal starts with, I want to shed the extra pounds and I want to increase my energy, then that's where that specificity comes in. So action step, because I know we only have a few more moments. I'm big on giving our listeners at least something to walk away with. It's like, this is great. I understand I could work with a professional. I know what you guys do, but just give me something I can do tomorrow. Here's what I tell people. If you want one disruptive behavior, in order to have any strategy, you have to have consistency. So if I say to you, what's your preferred method of clean eating or weight loss or athleticism, whatever the case is, if you don't have a routine that's consistent, you don't have any strategy. It's a program with an identity crisis. So to fix that, start with just two things: consistent lunches and a mid-afternoon snack. If you can just do those two things, and when I say consistent lunches, I don't mean the rest of your life forever to the end of time. Just if you can say for the next 2 or 3 weeks, 3 out of 4 days, I'm going to have a consistent, healthy, clean lunch. And 3 out of the 4 next few days, I'm going to prepare a healthy, clean afternoon snack. Just doing that will be massively disruptive in many ways to your progress, to your daily routine. Because if you have lunch and you have an afternoon snack, that means likely you're going to have to prepare that snack and that lunch when you're having breakfast. So you're not going to miss breakfast. If you've had breakfast and you've had lunch and you've had a mid-afternoon snack, you're not going to have low blood sugar when you're ready for dinner. And when you get to dinner, you're not going to be so hungry that you're as likely to overeat. I say as likely because chocolate still tastes good.
Right.
But less likely. And so now we've had a program, a plan where we've just changed 1 or 2 things that can massively affect the bottom line. I know that's what you're about, right?
I am about the bottom line, amen, brother. Let's get some Benjamins. But you know what? I've got one more question. I think you just answered it with that phenomenal tip, which is diet or exercise. Which one do you start with first if you're doing neither, right? Or do you do them both?
No,
is it
that's
a
a great
1-2 punch?
question. No, the answer is diet. And it is not for the reasons you think. It's not because diet is more important than exercise. Exercise is very important. It's that diet is much harder to establish a consistent routine. It's more confusing where to start, where to begin. There's a lot, it's shrouded in mystery. And it's something that you have to do not everybody eats 4 or 5 times a day, but you have to eat every day, at least a few times a day. And so if you're going to start somewhere that's going to have the greatest impact, I tell my clients, and I have for years, you come to the gym to exercise after we talk about your diet. And if we haven't gotten that right, we're going to use that hour to go shopping for food and to preparing your meals. Because if you want to impact your health, if you want to impact your weight, if you want to impact the major markers of wellness, it starts with your diet. You also need to get active and exercise, but start small. Start consistent, but start small. A lot of people say, well, I'm ready to go. So they go to the gym and they do this 2-hour boot camp that crushes them. And they're, crippled for 2 weeks.
And then you're done.
And then you're done. Don't do that. I tell my clients, start with something you can do for 5 to 10 minutes, but do it every day, or at least 5 days a week, because we can build on that. Diet first, 5 to 10 minutes of exercise a day second. That's if you're not currently in a routine. And then build from there.
Angelo, I wish you got excited about this.
Yeah, I kind of bores me.
I totally wish you liked what you did. I also wish you knew of a program that could help people with this stuff. Rumor has it you might know one.
If you go to metpro.co/SB for Stacking Benjamins, we got a special offer for you guys. You'll actually get to talk to a coach, not a call center somewhere, a coach who will just, get to know you and can speak more specifically about what a specific routine could look like for you. So metpro.co/SB. You can check us out at MetPro.
It's awesome. Angelo, thanks for hanging out with us, and thanks for helping us make 2020 you 2020 you. How about that? 2022 to help us make. Thank you for helping us make 2022 2020 you. Wow.
I love it.
I think I just came up with that. Somebody already did that before me. Thanks. That's right. TM.